So, good morning, everyone. Warapon, would you like to say a few words to start off?
Hello, everyone. So welcome again. Welcome back to June online meditation. I'm happy to see you all. So let's go for this month. So Pajan will teach us how to do the meditation. Next step.
Okay. So, thank you, everyone. And happy to see you all again today in the summer. And I hope that you're not missing the sunshine outside and you're locking into your own room. So before we going into further other things, would anybody like to share or anything that you would like to speak? Anybody has anything? Or maybe just too early because just woke up and from bed. Still like in a zombie style. No mood and nothing in the head, so completely still in a sleepness. And that normally happens to me whenever I'm waking up about 5 o'clock, and then sometimes I feel like, oh no, I don't want to. And then the head is just like want to go back and sleep when you cuddle with the duvets, and that normally happens. And then I have a normally 3 bells. So that's a 5 o'clock bell, and then half past 5, and then 5:30. Anyhow, I have to come out from the bed. So half an hour, I try to negotiate myself with my body, with my mind, and with the work. In the meantime, I practice this before coming out from the bed practice, which I know, I have told you all to practice as well. And but I told you to practice only 15 seconds, you see. Yeah, observing your entire body as you wake up rather than coming out from your bed immediately, spending time observing your mind body. And I spend about half an hour. Surprisingly, sometimes I go to sleep, back to sleep again, like that. But in the meantime, what I have found that sometimes mind and the body wants to sleep, and then still very drowsy and like that. And because of that practice, somehow after half an hour later, it's like a refreshed, and you're ready to, now it's time to go for work. Yeah, because I'm teaching every day 6 o'clock, 6 o'clock in America, so 6 o'clock here, but in America, in LA, at 10 o'clock. Yeah, 10 o'clock in the night. That's why I have to be ready, and I have to make my voice like I've been woke up a long time. Otherwise, speaking like, the voice is like still in sleepiness. So like that. So maybe anybody now? Anybody? Or still in that mode of a sleepiness? In that? Huh? All right. Okay then. So in that case, let us practice a little bit to wake you up then. Yeah?
I have one thing
Yes,
to say.
Daniela.
Speaking about the 15 seconds that you mentioned, this is really the most difficult part for me. I realize that I am really in, I don't know how to say, but it's really, I am really in my mind, kind of forcing myself to do it. And yeah, it's not really easy. So I don't know if you have any advice or suggestion on how to because I understand it's a matter to start the day with good vibrations in the end as well.
Yeah.
So instead of starting thinking about what you have to do, the problem that you had the day before, and so on, it's a way to help starting a day from a fresh start, a fresh point, a kind of 0 point, and you build up the day in a proper way. But it's really hard to do that, and I don't know how to improve that part.
How to do now? 15 seconds is basically when you woke up. So rather than moving out from the bed or thinking of any other things, simply, okay, now I am awake. So observing any sensations like in your body and what you are feeling, and even your thoughts. So observing your thoughts, okay? And spending, or sometimes you have to do nothing. You just lie down and whatever is happening, just watch. And then this, sometimes it takes maybe just 1 or 2 breaths, it's gone. And other times can be very difficult. Like half an hour, and sometimes it's like just like a 1 or 2 breaths. Another bell already gone. It's like a sudden wake up. And sometimes it's like a long time, especially if you have many things to do. And then you feel like a very long time. When is gonna ring this bell? When is gonna ring this bell? Like that. So it basically, sometimes you do not do anything. Just lie down. You may move your body a little bit and feel the duvet and feel, and then just lie down, close your eyes, observing all the sensations in your body. And then thoughts comes, okay, these are the thoughts. Now I will watch it, and just lie down like that. And as you said, that early morning practice is always so helpful to feel the positive throughout the day. That's why they say, we have a saying, if your heart, basically if your mind, if your heart is in a positive state and you have prepared from the very early day, then the rest of the day will be fine. Rest of the day will be fine. And that also radiates from your face. Your face will be charming. Your face will be happy, not miserable, and nobody wants to see, or you're grumpy, still jumpy face and coming like that. So, but when you're practicing, basically it makes you feel more relaxed. You become more aware throughout the day. That's why there is even saying, if you get the inside right, the outside will fall into place, isn't it?
Yes.
So that's the main key here. And now we have to put it right inside us. But normally what happens is that we channel outside and we try to put right outside, forget inside. Inside, we're still having this so much tangling and confusion and dispute going on. And then, meanwhile, we try to fix outside. Oh, you should be doing this, or this should be done like that. So like that, we're trying to fix others. So we have a fixing mind. But inside, we haven't fixed it. And as a result of that, everything becomes chaos. So early morning practice basically is to put everything in the right place in ourselves, inside us, in our hearts and our minds. And that begins from very early consciousness, very early consciousness, that we wake up and aware of that. That's why we have a practice. Before you go to bed, when you go to bed, as you go into the bed, you're sleeping. During that sleeping, try not to think anything apart from breathing in and breathing out, right? And then try to be conscious of which moment you went to sleep, whether it is breathing in or whether it is breathing out moment. After you're breathing in, you went to sleep. After you're breathing out, or you went to sleep. Okay? And that helps you to have a very good sleep throughout the night, because your mind is very conscious of your breath. So inside is very calm. And with that, you can have a very good sleep and there won't be any fear. And then when you wake up, then again, very first consciousness, you will be able to notice, oh, was it in breath or was it out breath? Okay? So if you can notice that breath when it comes and when it comes out, the moment when we wake up, we become a consciousness, and then we become conscious of that, then automatically you are in that state of a tranquil, right? And you are keeping yourself in the right position inside. And with that, everything becomes perfect. Nothing to worry. You may have experienced sometimes when you feel calm inside, outside is so much chaos, nothing has been done, dustbin hasn't been put in the right place. Well, you will be not annoyed by it. But other time, when you wake up with a miserable, everything become troubles. Oh, you haven't put the forks in the right place. Your mugs hasn't been cleaned. Why it's not in a sink? Why haven't you cleaned it? Why haven't you dried it up? Oh, goes on. Everything, even little things become troublesome. All starts from our first consciousness. That's why if you remember our last session, I was talking about, anybody remember ABC? ABC? A basically is like the situation that we are in when we see it. And then we interpret it and our reaction to it, ABC, right? And we practice that we see things and then we react, but we forgot this interpretation line, B, interpretation. And the practice of a mindfulness meditation is to see this interpretation. How am I interpreting? How am I interpreting? Like even the first wake up and you see things or hear things, or you have a thought, and that moment is not the problem. Yeah? It's not the problem what you see. It's not the problem what is the situation. It's a problem with our interpretation and our reaction. So that's what I normally call whole Buddha's teachings is not about what. Yeah? It's not about what. It is about how. So whole Buddha's teachings is a path. Yeah? Is a path to deal with whatever is happening. Yeah, whatever is happening, anything. What is already there. The situation is always there. The situation may be changed from one to another, but the situation is always there. It is not a problem with what is there, but the problem is how we are dealing with it. So Buddha's teachings is basically pragmatic. It's a how you deal with it. How you deal with it. And that is the practice of meditation comes in. The entire Buddha's teachings, you may see, if you look at the Buddha's, the teachings, the scripture, probably one of the longest or how to say, biggest scripture among the religions, because Buddha taught for 45 years. Yeah, 45 years of a teaching. Now imagine you're talking every single day for 45 years. How many books you can write? So 1 hour speaking, it turns to be around 20 pages. Now think about 12 hours talking and then 45 years. Suppose 12 hours and a half a day. I'm just breaking it half a day, not 24 hours. But the Buddha spoke 18 hours per day. Yeah, I taught 18 hours most of the time. So let's say 12 hours a day and speaking for 45 years, how many books do you think it would be? And think about the commentaries written after a couple of 100 years later, and then sub-commentaries, and even now we are trying to make sense of it. So vast, so vast. And there are no other religious leaders who taught for 45 years. How many years Jesus taught? Only 3 years. And we have a Bible this thick, right? And Buddha taught for 45 years as a giant. The whole Buddha's teaching, this 45 years of a teaching, this giant scripture, and yet comes into one, that is the path. That's why Buddha's teachings is known as middle path. Middle path. The moment when we walk into that, then we will realize. And again, the entire teachings, doesn't matter whether Buddha taught it or not. It's all in us. It's not from outside, within us. Now, that is, how do we understand that? Basically, channeling to ourselves. And here, if I ask you, what can you observe in the present moment? Think about yourself. What can you observe in the present moment? Now, I have said, not channeling outside. Yeah? What can you feel, or what can you observe in the present moment?
Yeah, usually it's a million of thoughts.
Thoughts, yeah. Yeah. See, it is so difficult to see what we can see in the present moment, isn't it? And normally we can think of the thought. Yeah. And here, normally, the anything that we see or we observe or we understand now, the present moment awareness, yeah, whatever happening in the present moment is the start, is the beginning of a whole Buddha's teachings. And gradually that unfolds, and that helps us to understand the entire Buddha's teachings. Now, when we are not thinking, suppose you are not thinking, okay? Think that you are not thinking. Okay? Now, when you are not thinking, your eyes are open. Your ears are completely, fully open, functioning. Your nose are fully functioning. Your body is completely not paralyzed. You are fully aware of it. At that moment, what you can see, what you can observe, it is called coming to senses. Coming to our senses. Our eye sees things. Our ear hears voices. Okay. And meanwhile, our nose smells. When we eat something, we get a taste, and our body comes to contact with the environment and nature, then we feel different temperature. At that moment, what happens? These are the contact that you are having. The moment when you have a contact, what happens? We interpret it. We interpret it like this or that. And after that interpretation, what happens?
Reaction.
Reaction comes. Reaction comes. And because of that reaction, what happens? It generates more troubles. Emotionally changes. Right? Emotion change. That's why in the practice of a meditation, what we are doing at first is whatever coming in the present moment, whatever we see it, whatever we observe it, first thing is seeing it clearly. That this is happening, seeing it clearly. This is arising, this is there. And not only seeing enough, we have to know that this is there happening, knowing it. Knowing it. And not just the knowing, but also we have to understand that this is there. And this is making me trouble, making me miserable, like that. And normally, because of that, not knowing it normally makes us anxious. We become very anxious and anxiety develops. And emotionally we change. Emotionally we change. So that's why the mindfulness meditation is to first accept that what is happening. Accepting what's happening there. Whichever way you are in, accepting. I sees, okay, seeing it, knowing it, and understanding it. But what happens is we normally try to make things complicated. And that's how we are in trouble. Now, practice of a meditation is to be here and now in the present moment. Right? If you have collected, living in the present moment. Can you live in the present moment by everything that whatever is happening? You're aware of that? Ability to let go of everything but this moment, being here, whatever all things happening is, let it be. And allow, this is the most important thing, is we always want to do something. And especially the work, we're always thinking about the work. Now, practice is basically ability to distract some time for yourself. That's called allowing yourself to leave behind all the works. Not having this fixing mind. Not having this fixing mind. And all what we do is simply bring your mind back to your breath. Observing your breath. So as you breathe in, bring your attention fully in the in-breath. And as you breathe out, bring it fully to the out-breath. And when it is happening again, allowing it to be as it is, without trying to change it in any way. And we are not trying to change it. Whatever is happening, whatever is happening, we are not trying to change. And that is the perfect practice. So let's practice a little bit on that concept, okay? That you are letting go everything and being here. Whatever you hear, just hear. Whatever you smell or whatever you feel in your body, just feel it. Observing in the present moment. It is called Paccuppanna Dhamma, the present awareness. Okay? So let's practice. So sitting in a comfortable position, you can move your body, move your leg, move your hands to find a comfortable position. And relax. and leaving all your responsibilities behind. No work, no responsibilities, and this is a perfect moment for yourself. And letting go of everything, just observing mind body here. Living the thought of the day, and what's coming to be, and whatever is there, observing, seeing it clearly, knowing it as they are, and understanding that it is there. And just let it be. And simply bring your attention to your breath. Follow your breath. So breathing in and breathing out. As you breathe in, bring your attention fully to the breath. In breath. And as you breathe out, bring your attention fully to the out breath. And here again, incoming breath and outgoing breath, as we are paying full attention, seeing it as it is coming, knowing it, it is there, and understand it is coming and it is going. And this is the present moment activities that we are aware of. So allowing it to be as it is without trying to change it in any way. Not to hold or not to regulate it. As it is. As they are. Feeling tightness, see whatever you feel. Feeling relaxed, feeling relaxed. Feeling sad, feeling sad. Or feeling happy, joy, serene. Just it is. So whatever happening in the present moment, any contents, anything, accept it. Accepting it as like you have chosen to be. You have chosen it. It's like this is the one that I have been looking for. And accepting it, acceptance, seeing it, knowing it, and understanding, rather than regulating it, rather than changing it, rather than multiplying it. And this stops everything. And this also transforms our mindset. I think Thich Nhat Hanh once said, it's a miracle to see the present moment, which changes or which transforms the entire whole life. It's not a miracle of getting any miraculous powers, but it's a miracle of being in the present moment that changes the entire life. And remember that you have a breath as a platform or a foundation that you can rely on. So follow your breath as it comes in and as it goes out, and seeing it clearly, knowing it as they are. As you breathe in, bring your attention fully to the in-breath. And as you breathe out, bring it fully to the out-breath. Try not to hold the breath. Try not to regulate the breath. Allowing it to be natural breath, normal breath. As you hear gong, slowly open your eyes and come out from meditation. Okay. So this is just a short practice to see, know, and understand. Anybody wants to share anything? Yes, Janine?
Okay. First of all, I want to thank the group for the sharing of last time. I'm working on my anger issues now.
Yeah.
Which is not easy because whenever I try to feel the anger, it is gone.
That's very quick.
Yeah, but that means that I don't feel when it is there. Then I wanted to ask something very practical because I have a colleague who's meditating too, so we are sharing sometimes our experiences, and we were about where we feel stuff. And so she said she always feels it in the heart, and then she said here. And when we are practicing, you always say to feel your heart, and I always have problems because I try to feel it here. And then I thought maybe I'm searching for something that is already there, because I can feel the beat of the heart in the whole body. And maybe this is just what maybe I try to find something elsewhere when it is here.
Yeah.
So, and then we discussed, when you feel it here, is it the heart, or is it the neural central system, or are we intellectualizing too much?
If you remember one of our sessions, I spoke about we all have a different exam. We have exams, but we have all different exam paper. We can't copy one another. The moment when we try to copy, then we messed up. And this is normally, it happens in a practice of a meditation too. Not only you, when we were practicing back a few years ago in the retreats, we normally have to go and give our experiences to the masters, and we will be invited, like sometimes if there are too many monks, like 700 monks practicing together, then there will be not enough monks to interview us about our experiences. So they normally call us about 3 to 4 or sometimes 5 monks, and we are sharing our experiences, basically telling masters that what we have been experiencing in our meditation. And now suppose I am in the very last on the line. Yeah? I will be hearing everything what they have said, and I will be saying, oh, I haven't attended that one. How could he attend that? Oh, I haven't seen that experience. I haven't felt that. Oh, what he's saying is, oh, that's so different than what I am feeling. So it's like we are trying to copy the question paper to myself. So in a practice of meditation is not about that. It's not about copying anybody else. It's about our own feeling. Yeah? And when I talk about feeling your heart, where is the heart? You have to feel the place. Where is the heart? Yeah?
That's it.
Feeling it, yeah.
In
Not anywhere else.
I don't feel anything.
Yeah. So the place where the heart is, we feel there. Okay. And then obviously it is very difficult unless someone who has got the heart outside, like there is in India, there is one guy, one boy who is now, I think, 18 years old, or maybe now 20 years old. His heart is obviously, you can see it beeping. right? In the middle, it's very unusual sight. Even you can on YouTube you can watch that as well. It's like just outside. You can see that it's beating. Normally, this kind of a people will not last long. Basically, he will die soon. But this is an exceptional story that he still alive, even now 20 years maybe now, still alive. Unless that we can see and we can hear, but because our heart is inside, it's very difficult to feel it. Yeah, and as a result of that, I use two techniques. One, put right hand, yeah, your right hand on your heart side of the chest, and then as you quieten yourself, freeing your thoughts, and gradually you feel that beating heart. You feel your beating heart. That's the first technique. This is like practical. You touch it and you feel it. And the second one is you don't have to lift your hand. Your hands are wherever it is. You close your eyes and bring a smile in your face. Yeah? When you smile in your face, you feel the connection with your heart. This time is not a beating heart, but the connection with your heart. So you're feeling, connecting. Automatically, it just feels the connection, and that's how you feel the heart. Okay? So this is the feeling, and that's how we practice. Okay.
Okay, thank you. So the last days, I had an experience during meditation, which I wanted to share with you because I think you will tell me that I got it all wrong. It was about being in the present moment, and then the fact that, how do I say that? For example, when I feel the wind on my skin, I realize it in my head or in my mind. But in reality, there is no direct connection with the wind. So in a way, everything that I experience is in my head or in my mind. Mm-hmm. And then I thought, whatever, if it is the wind, or if it is the cat that is passing, or if it is that person that annoyed me so much this week, in the end, everything is in my mind. And so it means the wind is a little bit me and the cat is a little bit me, which, or you can also switch it. There is no me. But I felt it like everything is a little bit me. And then everything got, I relaxed a little bit. And then I thought, well, who is thinking this? And where is that person? But I wanted to share this because I thought maybe it's completely contrary on everything that you are teaching. This everything is a little bit me when normally there should be no me.
That's really good. Yeah, that's really, you're using this wise attention, and you're understanding what's going on. The question that you have asked, who is watching? Who is me? That's really deep actually. And that's really, really good. It's not a contrary and it's not a different too. So you don't need to worry at all. And all you need is to just watch it. This is, I am observing. And the question is, who is watching or who is thinking? Who is me? Eventually you will understand that who is that. I also used to have that same question again and again. And especially I was I was observing this 10 days silent retreat, which I wasn't seeing anybody, I wasn't talking to anyone, I wasn't reading anything, hearing anything, nothing. It's like a complete nothing. And then after 6 days, it was like that. Who is who? It was like a big battle. It was very cold here in Scotland. It's very cold, and yet I was sweating. Yeah, I was sweating in myself. My clothes become wet. That much battle going on was going on in my head, but it was affecting my body and then getting that sweatings. So like that, and eventually understood that it's not a two minds, but just the one that working so fast, and this awareness is there. And the moment when you have awareness, then that just stops, and suddenly, like, you know, light bulbs just turn on in the darkness, like that. So don't worry, just watch it, continue practicing, and eventually you will get it. You will understand furthermore that lighting in the darkness.
Yeah, there was some kind of, after who is thinking that, there was some kind of, now who's analyzing that? And it was like feeling like scratching inside of my head, scratching my brain directly.
Yeah, that happens. Yeah, like here now we have one man, one gentleman. He's a scholar, Oxford scholar, and he somehow contacted me and wanted to spend some times. And he has got so many thoughts, always asking question after question, question after question, and always thinking going on. And then after today, I think 1 week now. No, yeah, 1 week. Yesterday, I gave him a task: not to read, not to think, not to do. Yeah, not to read, not to think, not to do. And then today he came, then who am I? And then, so tonight I have to work with him again, like that. So that's why it's just coming back to ourselves, the reality of ourselves, who we really are. So now, before going into that deeper, first thing, just come back to the today's just the topic, or topic of practice, as Daniela started, is just to be in the present moment. Yeah, back to present moment. And then when we are in a present moment, that's why I've said, in the present moment, what we are doing is seeing, knowing, and understanding. And the moment when we see it clearly, knowing it as they are and understand it is, then that moment we will be able to accept it. Yeah, we will be able to accept it as they are without having anything to do it. Normally what happens when we talk about acceptance, we normally think about the negativities. Yeah, whenever but we forget about the positives, positive emotions. We always think about negative emotions because that creates worry, that creates fear, that creates anxiety, and so on. And here we are normally in now this modern day, we're talking about this acceptance of this negative thoughts. Actually, negative and positive thoughts are not there. It's our reaction to things that we have come across. As I have said previous session, it's not about what we see. Our interpretation is the important. And a practice of a meditation is to see that interpretation before we react. Normally, non-practitioner, what they do, immediately react. Forgot to see or understand this reaction. Right? And this, once we are practicing, we see this reaction, and that's how we become a mindful. Now here, turning towards it, our awareness is turning towards it. And then rather than we are neglecting it, rather than we are pushing it away, we become befriending it. Yeah, we befriending it. We are supporting this mind, so this thought. It's like, okay, you want to arise? arise, allowing it to happen. If you remember, I was saying in the past, allowing it to appear, let it arise. But I know you are coming. It's like a guest coming into your house. Yeah? Can I come? Yes, come on in. Yeah. So I know you're coming. And then I also know that how long you're going to stay in my house. Yeah? And eventually he will leave. So I know. So seeing this is coming, this is staying, and then this is going away. And that is the key here in the practice of a mindfulness meditation. Seeing anything that is arising as they arise, and seeing how long does that stay in our mind. And that staying again based on how long we dwell into it, how long we grasp into it, how long we attach to it, whether it is a negative or a positive. But eventually that again has to go away, fade away. It's like a guest. And sometimes, some time ago, I also mentioned that when guests are coming, and this is the initial stage, when guests are coming, do not offer a tea. Yeah, the moment when you offer a tea, what happens? They are staying longer. Yeah? They are staying a longer time. So in a practice of, but do not do in a practical way. Okay, when friends are coming, do offer a tea. When guests are coming, just ask him, yeah, okay, kettle is on, what would you like to drink? Okay, this is a practical way in a social living. But in the spiritual path, or in the clearing our mind, what we have to do is do not offer tea to our any thoughts and feelings and emotions. As they come, okay, welcome, allow it to happen, yeah, allow it to occur, but we are not offering it to stay. At the very moment when we do not entertain this thought, do not engage with this thought, it will go, it will change. Yeah. So this is why we befriend with it, and with that befriending, it won't cause any trouble to us. Yeah. It won't cause any trouble to us. And that's how mindfulness simply increases, develops. Yeah? It simply develops. Yeah? In a practice, what we normally do is gently noticing that this is there coming. And then if that's a negative, what happens is that there is a thought of wanting to push it away, and seeing that temptation, or temptation to drive it away, seeing that, feeling that, oh, the tense, the brain is becoming a tense, and your feeling becomes very intense, seeing that, gently noticing it, this temptation to push it away. Now here, rather than pushing it away, seeing, because of that seeing, actively meeting with it, actively, you are here, welcome, right? Oh, I know you're here. Actively meeting with them. It's like at the door, you are smiling. Oh, so happy to see you. Greeting them with, oh, how are you? Are you okay? But we are not offering a tea. So with that, what happens? This acceptance become a tool to be free ourselves, and we can relax in every moment, everywhere, without any trouble. That's why mindfulness meditation is also known as what's called the art of silent observation. Yeah, art of silent observation. You're silently observing it, whatever is arising, whatever is happening. Because the moment when you are not observing it silently, and you go into the thoughts after thoughts, or creating this and creating that, we become enemy to it. So that's why there is a saying, you can be your own a best friend, or your own what's called worst enemy. Yeah, so you can be your own best friend or worst enemy, and that's all begins from that moment. Yeah? That moment of the seeing, knowing, and understanding as they arise, as they appear, and how long it stays, and how long will fade away. And here it's beautiful. This reminds me, just a beautiful simile that the Buddha gave about it. It's like it's all the feelings that we observe or that arises is like a rain falls. I think I have mentioned it as well. When rain falls and it hits the surface of the water, that creates the small bubble. Yeah, so rain hits the surface of the water and it creates the bubble. How long do you think that lasts? It won't last long. Yeah, it won't last long. Maybe a second, or maybe less than a second. Comes, creates, and fades away. So our feelings are also like that. All the feelings arose simply because something hit it. Our eye sees and it hits and it creates. We hear and then hits, it creates. But every moment it is changing at all the time. By our offering tea concept, I want to offer a tea. Then we keep that bubble. Oh, this is so beautiful bubble. I don't want it to go away. And that's how this bubble becomes big. Our sensation or feelings become bigger and bigger. And that's how it transforms to emotion. That's why I always say that there is so many books and so many practices overcoming emotions. Actually, emotion is not the main root. Feeling is the main root. Emotion is our reaction to it. Our reaction to feeling creates the emotions. Yeah, and that emotion, what happens? Then further on, it creates to fear. Further on, it creates to anxiety, worries like that. But the practice of a meditation, silently observing what happens. Oh, I know this is seeing it in the present moment, whatever is arising. Knowing it, this is fine. And it goes. Okay, so like that. And with that, what happens? There is no fear. There is no worries. And there is no anxiety. And this thought simply becomes friend. And that develops confidence within us to deal with any situation, wherever you are, whatever you are doing. Yeah. Nelson Mandela once said that it's not about the fear, but it's about the triumph or overcoming it is the power, the courage to overcome it. And then should not be afraid of the fear, but conquer that fear. That's a Nelson Mandela, he mentioned it. And in the meantime, there is basically there are a few books on how to be in the present moment. If you just type Google be present moment mindfulness, hundreds of articles will appear and hundreds of tips you can find online. But all important here is deeply looking at it when it is there. So that's basically seeing it deeply, deeply listening, seeing and listening. And that creates the awareness of knowing it, what's happening there, what is happening, what is it. And with that real understanding of the situation, we will be able to accept that, I know this is, that's fine. And any action that we take, what happens? Skillful action. and it brings the whole positivity in us. You will be happy, no problem. So you will be smiling in every situation. Yeah. That's why people here sometimes say, Achan, don't you know how to be angry? And I say, I know how to be angry, but I just do not show it. Like that. Okay. So anyone else? No? That's impressive. Okay, so in that case, why don't we practice furthermore a little bit then? Okay, so this, I would say a two steps one. Okay, accepting in two steps. One is gently noticing the thought that is coming, and then your reaction to it, uh, and then try to be mindful when it is negative. There is a temptation to push it away. When it is positive, there is a temptation to keep it. Right? So that's the first. And the second is just to be there, meeting with it. We're meeting with them with an open mind, open heart, and seeing whatever is arising, and see that how long does that stay, and when it fades away, what happens? Okay, so with this in mind, let's practice. So bring your attention to here and now. Leave all your responsibilities aside. Feeling comfortable and secure. Feel the entire body relaxed. And your body, as you feel the body and mind relaxed, gently paying attention to anything that arises in the moment, here and now. Whatever you can observe, whether it is sound that you are hearing, whether the temperature that you are having a contact with your body, the coldness, the heat, or the thoughts, observing it in a present moment. Any contains. Seeing it clearly as it arises, knowing that this is aroused without adding any color to it, and understanding the existence of it. And before fading away, what is happening in your mind? Noticing that temptation, that feeling, that emotions, and let it be. You may use our formula as observing, acknowledging, noting, and let it be or let it go. So observing whatever it is, acknowledging the existence of it, and mentally making a note of it, perceiving it is as they are. But if you're struggling, remember that we have a breath as the foundation, breath as the platform, the anchor. Whenever necessary, just back to the breath, taking a refuge on a breath, observing incoming breath and outgoing breath as it comes and as it goes, seeing as it is coming, knowing it is there, understanding the process of a seeing this breath. As you breathe in, bring your attention fully to the breath, incoming breath. And as you breathe out, similarly, bring your attention fully to the outgoing breath without any regulation. Try not to regulate the breath. Try not to hold the breath to see it. Natural breath, normal breath. So this is our primary object, where we will be establishing our awareness. In the meanwhile, whatever other things happens, simply be mindful of it. Observing present moment awareness, whatever it is, whatever contains in the present moment, the sound that you hear, the feeling that you feel, the thought that arises, observing them, seeing it clearly, knowing as they are, and understanding the existence of it. Do not try to hold it, do not try to reject it. In the meanwhile, whatever other thoughts arises onto it, whether it is towards a negative or a positive, watching that temptation. So noticing that temptation to react into this or to that, imagining that you are expecting them to come, and when you expect them to come and they arrive, you will be smiling. I knew it that you're coming. So you have a smile in your face and a greeting with a great honor. Like when you are thinking of somebody and suddenly they appear, it's like a deja vu. Wow, yes, I know they're coming. So you have a full smile. So treating all other, whatever arises, to seeing that arise, see how long will stay and how it is vanishing. And eventually we have awareness of it. When it is arising, we know it. When it is maintaining, we know it. And when it fades away, and we know it. Breathing in, breathing out. Be mindful of whatever it is, seeing it clearly as it arises, knowing it as they are, and understanding its existence. Whatever comes, whatever is happening, whatever is there, it's not the problem. Just dealing with it that we need to know the way. Before any reaction to it, whenever we see it, hear it, touch it, feel it, think about it. Be mindful of that interpretation, how we are interpreting. So gently noticing the temptation to interpret towards good, bad, pleasant, unpleasant, negative, positive. Observing, acknowledging, noting as they appear. And we have a foundation where we stand, the platform. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. And as you hear the gong, slowly open your eyes and come out to the normal state. Okay, so anyone wants to share? I just look at in my records and I found this beautiful poem. So this poem written by called Jalaluddin Rumi that I have heard it long time ago. The poem is called The Guest House. Some of you may have heard. When I was doing this mindfulness living course, that time I was told this poem for the first time. It's beautiful. And as I was meditating, and suddenly that brought into my mind this beautiful poem. And I thought, okay, I think there's somewhere in my computer. And I found it here. Okay, this poem says, this poem's name is The Guest House, written by Rumi, a 13th century scholar. It's beautiful poems, he wrote so many. And this is The Guest House. This being a human is a guest house. He is taking this being a human house. Every morning, a new arrival. So when you wake up, it's like a new arrival. So your new birth, new life. Okay? A joy, a depression, a meanness, some momentary awareness comes as unexpected visitor. So it's like unexpected visitor can come, all these joy and depression and sadness and so and so. And he further says, welcome and entertain them all. So welcoming them and entertaining them all, even if they are a crowd of sorrows who violently sweep your house empty of its furniture, still treat each guest honorably. Honorably treating them. And further, he says, this guest, he may be clearing you out for some new delight. That's a big one. The dark thought, the shame, the malice, meet them at the door laughing and invite them in. Be grateful for whoever comes, because each has been sent as a guide from beyond. So beautiful poem written by Rumi, the 13th century scholar. So it's like that. Whatever comes, we just treat them well. Right, with this, anybody wants to share anything? And so I just want to say one more thing. The last session, I wasn't feeling well. So you may notice my voice wasn't that good. And you may notice I was off the screen for some time. And that basically I went to sick, okay, vomit and come back again. So I was a little, my mind wasn't clear at that time, but however, I hope you understood and enjoyed that session. Okay, right. So anybody wants to share? Very quiet. Yes, Marco?
During the meditation session, sometimes my emotion takes very big place, and I think I accept it, but sometimes I cannot take distance. I see it, I accept it, but I can live it. I can
let it go.
Yes, let it go. That's the word.
Mm.
So my question is, okay, that's it. It's this way now, but I'm suffering a little bit about this, and I don't know how to be better. That's the point now.
Okay. It is quite common that every one of us would like to get rid of those bad emotions as soon as it arises. And then when we pay attention to it, then again, there is an intention. That's why there is the temptation to let go. You remember, I was referring, temptation to let go. So rather than having this temptation to let go, we simply become an observer. Simply observing. Do not think that I have to overcome. Do not think that it is going to last long. You're simply observing. Like in previous time, I was guiding meditating on when you are meditating, you're sitting at the bank of the river and you are watching the river flow. Like that. There is no intention to hold or no intention to let go. At the moment when you are in a neutral position, what happens is that, I'm again coming back to today, see, you know this is there, and then it will go. So that's how we will be practicing, and eventually it will just overcome. And here, because of a mindfulness meditation, it's become so visible. Yeah, it's become so visible. It's there all the time. Actually, that actually way to let it go. It's on the process to letting go. It's like a medicine is just begin to start. But when we are not practicing, it's there. It's causing us a trouble, and we become unmindful with it, and we think that it's not there, but it's causing us a trouble. But whereas mindfulness meditation is helping us to recognize that this is there. And when we recognize it, rather than implying it, multiplying it, making it more, we basically keeping it as it is. And meanwhile, we are not adding any fuel on it. When the fuel is not added in the fire, eventually it dies out. So all the emotions are like that. If you put the fuel in, it will just make more and more. But if you don't put the fuel in, doesn't mean there is no heat. That doesn't mean the fire is not on. The fire is still continue. But because of the no fuel in, it eventually passes away. So that's the mindfulness meditation, is basically aware of this fire and not adding more. Yeah? And the one thing, if you remember early on, I mentioned emotion is a reaction to our feeling. When we see things, we react, and that's become an emotion. When we hear something, we react to that hearing, then that's become an emotion. Feeling itself is not the emotion yet. Feeling itself is not emotion yet. So that's the practice of a meditation is basically before that triggers into feeling, we are stopping here in the feeling. When it arises, I know it is arising. When it is there, I know it is there. So it's a guest story, is quite a good one. And dealing with it, basically, another simile is, I think I have mentioned as well, like a tea bag. When you put the tea bag in hot water, the longer you keep this tea bag in the hot water, the water becomes darker. And that's same with our thoughts as well, emotions as well. The more we keep it longer, we become more miserable. So practice is basically knowing that and removing it. Remove the fuel, remove this tea bag, and eventually it It's clearing. Okay.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah. Right. Anyone? If not, then let's practice loving kindness to finish off. Okay. And thank you everyone for joining us again. And we'll see you next time as well. The next session, the next month. So let's practice loving kindness together. As you hear the gong, and relax yourself and sit comfortably. So gently bring your attention to the moment here and now. Spend some time observing whatever in the present moment. Seeing, knowing, understanding as it arises, as it remains, and as it fades away. And whenever there is a temptation to react, just be mindful of it. And bring your attention to feel the entire body. Sensations in your body. Whatever sensations are there, just be mindful. The heat, the cold, the tension, the tightness, the heaviness, the hardness, softness, relax, whatever. And bring that attention to your hands. Do not move your hands, but just feel the sensations in your hand. Whatever sensations are there. The softness, hardness, lightness, heat, cold, observing it. And bring that attention to your heart. Feel the beating heart. You may put your hand, right hand on your heart, on the chest, the left chest, and feel that, or physically smiling. And as you physically smile, you feel the connection with your heart. And as you feel the connection with your heart, generating loving kindness and compassion to yourself, and sharing it to yourself. I am well. I am happy. I am at peace. Allowing yourself to be happy. Allowing yourself to be at peace. Allowing yourself to be free from sufferings. You can repeat to yourself in your mind, brain, silently observing that. I am well. I am happy. I am at peace. Feeling great upliftment, so joy and happiness. feeling grateful and happy. Similarly, sharing loving kindness and compassion to all other sentient beings. Bring into your mind, bring into your thoughts. You may start off someone who is close to you, close and dear to you, or any particular person who is really in need of our support. So bringing into your thoughts of that particular person or even things and sharing it. And all the sentient beings, limitless, universal, or whatever beings there are, may they be well. A genuine kindness and compassion towards them. May they be happy. May they be free from suffering. May they be liberated, liberated. Feeling the liberation from all the sufferings, whether it is bodily or mentally. All the troubles, may they be free. And reconnecting again to yourself. Bring your attention to your hands and to your body. And as you hear the gong, slowly opening your eyes. With a great joy and happiness, peace and tranquil. Okay, so thank you everyone. Thank you very much, and wish you all the best. May you all have a good weekend, and this 1 month may you all practice diligently so that we'll get some enlightenment next month. So may you all be well and happy. Take care and thank you.
Thank you
So
so much.
whereupon we'll inform
Thank
you
you.
for the next session in a few days' time. All right. So
Perfect.
thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.